This week, we're going to be reviewing the Garmin InReach Mini. The Garmin InReach Mini has many tools and things that'll help you out in the backcountry to help keep you safe. First of all, it allows two-way messaging between your family and you. So as long as there's a phone number and as long as you have clear sky, you can message folks no matter where you are in the world. That's very, very helpful, very nice, very comforting when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can still talk to your loved ones. One of the other really awesome tools on here is that you can get the weather report sent straight to your Garmin device. And that allows you to stay safe in all situations, even if you can't load up, say, a weather report on your phone. You know if there's a rainstorm coming, if it's going to get really, really cold, if there's snow, anything like that. This device can really help keep you safe from a lot of that. And perhaps the most important part of this device is it actually has an SOS button on the side of it. So if you are to get in trouble, then you just need to push this little button right here. Let me show you. You just need to push this little button and they will contact your emergency contact person you put on your account and ask if you need rescue, in your location where you're at. So that definitely is a super important safety net of this thing. This device also allows you to track from intervals down all the way to 2 minutes of where your location is. And that location goes up on a website that you can share with your family, your friends, or on a social media page so people know exactly where you're exploring. That might be really helpful for people who are going for a fastest known time or just want that added safety net, or if someone's picking you up or something. It just helps a lot to have that data accessible. And then you have a track of how quickly you were moving, what kind of elevation you were doing, all that sort of business. This thing also has a very, very long battery life if you use it sparingly. When I was on trail, I would contact my family at noon and when I'd roll into camp at night, and that would include a location ping of where I'm at. And the battery on this thing lasted me multiple days between charges, very, very easily. I only really had to recharge it if I was using it a lot one evening to, say, work out a pickup or because I was lonely or something like that. And that long battery life is accompanied with the fact that this battery really doesn't mind the cold all that much in my experience. Albeit on the Arizona Trail, I only encountered temperatures down into the 20s. So for something like the Himalayas or, the Continental Divide Trail, it could definitely be a little too frosty for it. But I wouldn't really snuggle this thing in my sleeping bag, and I didn't notice any significant losses in the battery. It's pretty awesome. So it recharges quickly. It lasts a while if you use it right, but obviously if you're tracking every 2 minutes, it's going to burn through that battery. But all in all, it's a really, really great product, and I felt very safe when using this, even when I was in the middle of nowhere. Even when a bear attacked me at 2 in the morning, I could get in contact with somebody, and I knew that I was at least being watched after and that I was safe. Lastly, about the Garmin, it has a InReach app that goes on your cellular device, and particularly for the Mini, because it's such a small screen, it allows you to link up, and that's how you type out your messages, because obviously there isn't a keyboard on here. So you type out the messages on your phone, and it Bluetooths onto here to send through the satellite messaging. That app also comes with downloadable maps that have saved me where apps like GutHook might not have had the super specific information I need, such as while I was on the Arizona Trail, the Gila River only goes in certain parts next to that trail there, and there's a lot of fence that gets in your way. So I needed to find an alternate path that was off trail to get to the river, and that's where that InReach app really, really helped me out to find water while I was night hiking in an area that I had never hiked before. So it definitely helps out. So those are some of the pros of the InReach. Now on to some of the cons. I know I said one of the pros was the app, but also There are several cons with it. First of all, if you get a weather report sent to the Garmin device, a lot of the time the weather report that shows up on here is different than what shows up on the phone app. And in my experience at least, the phone app would measure 5 to 10 degrees warmer than the device itself. And that got me in a bit of trouble a few nights, and I was worried I froze my water filter. So that's definitely something to consider. Another thing about this device is if it isn't connected to your phone, you actually lose a lot of the functionality off of this thing. So if your phone was to die and you didn't have enough battery in your battery bank or solar panel to recharge it, that could get you in a bit of a situation that wouldn't be good. Obviously the SOS button would still work. You could still get weather apps, and you can actually set preset text messages on their website that you could send from the device, but you only get like 3 of those or something like that. It's not very much, and they're very, very strict caps on the amount of characters you can put in a message. That's on to the next thing. When you're using two-way messages, you only get 160 characters to send to whoever. And if you're in a group text, each of those phone numbers detracts from that total amount of characters that you can use. And I believe if you send the location ping, that further reduces that as well. So that's definitely something to consider, that you'll have to send a lot of messages if you're trying to send a very complicated message to whoever you're talking to. Definitely something to consider. Also, another con for this thing, the plans that you have to buy to use the satellite network can be very, very expensive. The unlimited texting plan alone is about $40 per month, and that also includes weather to you, but not premium weather. I never got one of those, so I don't know what a premium weather forecast is. But that's something to consider, that if you're on a bit of a budget, you can buy plans that aren't unlimited and they're cheaper, but it's still, you know, it's some money. And the device alone costs several $100s. Also something to consider. And lastly, a lot of people think this is a flaw because they don't understand it when they're setting up the device. When you push this SOS button, that's going to make the search and rescue people contact whoever your emergency contact is to ask, hey, we got a distress call in this location. Do we need to send in our resources? Does that sound right? There have been people who have complained that they've been stranded because they set their emergency contact as themselves. And so then search and rescue is trying to call your phone while you're stuck out in the backcountry asking for help. That doesn't work out so well. So it's really, really important that you set this thing up right the first time, or else it could mean your life. I hope you learned something from this experience. I know it took me quite a while to pick up some of the tricks of this device over my hike, and I hope some of my insights can help you with your decision making. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe for more content like this and my usual exploration nature videos that come out every Mountain Monday. I'll see you guys next week.